sleeping on. Tried it a couple of times, and it felt good every time I played it. I feel like this is also one of the old school classic counters to what Tidehunter wants to do. With the Spirit Siphon Exorcism, you just run him down with the BKB. Multiple options that you can go with the itemization as well. And in the lane, I think this DP, of course, being the range hero, playing into Witch Doctor and Spectre, she's going to get a lot up from the lane.
Yeah, and also you really don't have to worry about Maledict that much as Death Prophet, because you heal up more than you take the damage for. So Maledict, like, it's supposed to be this very oppressive ability in the lane that just makes you never want to approach creep waves, but Death Prophet is one of those heroes that can approach creep waves against a Witch Doctor.
I do worry a bit for their catch. A lot of it's on the Earth Spear and the Tusk. They have to do pretty much all the work, the arrow setup. It's like, yeah, go roll on an Earth Spear and then I'll arrow off it. I
promise, bro, it'll land.
Like, I got you, man. So it definitely, for me, Team Spirit's a tempo draft, which they're good at, but their tempo, I feel like, is more the mid game. It's not so much on average like the Death Prophet tempo, but they do have the perfect carry to match that tempo of the Death Prophet, right? You have this guy who's going to Exorcism, take the towers. You have Yatoru's going to be able to TP and do it. Earth Spirit's going to be follow up. So I think if they kind of hit all their timings, I actually do really like the Team Spirit draft.
And Lacoste, do you want to quickly put it out? Liquid, Spirit, it's game 3.
I think I'm going to give a slight edge to Spirit. Like, we've seen two very one-sided games that did go on for, like, relatively long time, but I think this one's going to be the most even out of the 3.
And I'm already just going
to... Even, Cinderin.
It'll be closer than any of the previous 2 games, which is, I guess, not...
That's not saying much.
That's not saying much, indeed. I do think this time around, though, first of all, we've changed the carry away from Luna. Not that either of the previous games per se was Luna's fault, but
she was in those games, so it is her fault.
That's right. That's how it works. Now, I think the overall looking at the pacing of the lineups, okay, if there were to be a very one-sided affair here, it's because Spirit run them over with DP and Prophet. So Prophet and Prophet, if you will. The nature and the death variants. I like that last pick a lot. It's cool to see Death Prophet in this tournament. First pick of this year's International, and she has a lot of things going for her. Like they mentioned, the laning phase into Witch Doctor is good. Death Prophet is one of the best heroes you can pick against Tidehunter, in my opinion. You can't Kraken off Spirit Siphon. You do a ton of damage with the Ghosts that does not get reduced by Kraken Shell because it's damage block and these ignore damage block. And it matches the tempo so well. That's the biggest part of the pick for me is I love watching teams play Prophet with heroes that want to push. It gives him an incentive to get an active from the carry role and move toward enemy towers, to take objectives like the Tormentor, like Roche. And in my personal opinion, I think Prophet is, Nature's Prophet that is criminally underpicked this tournament. I think this hero is S tier.
S tier?
Really strong. In the absence of, let's say, Shadow Fiend, Lone Druid, and Drow, I personally think this might be, for me, the most well-rounded carry hero right now. It has very strong laning since they've buffed Nature's Call. People actually skilling this in lane it makes Prophet lose basically no lanes. He can win every single lane because he can join wherever you need help. He can itemize in different fashions and farms really fast. He is okay at taking objectives, and I mean, you have global teleport, right? So, very strong hero. I hope we get to see it more.
I mean, I'm excited because this draft for both teams is just so much different than every other draft we've seen at this tournament, at least the ones that we've cast.
Yeah.
Like, the supporting cast is totally different. Like, Witch Doctor, even Clockwork, you were expecting this to be more of a mainstay.
Yeah.
Hasn't been in that tier at all. Like, it's only a couple of heroes that we've seen a decent amount of, which you talked about the mid of the tournament, which is the Earth Spirit. And of course, Tide on the other side. Otherwise, other than Tusk, of course, which Rue is playing here, everything is kind of newish, which is nice to see, as Lara will survive the Dragon Slave. But in terms of the Death Prophet, to talk about that a bit, we've seen some stinkers from this here in the last couple of years. But I will, and a lot of those come down to the teams not wanting to push for some reason. It's like, why pick this hero then? So if they're able to put something together a little bit early, that does sound pretty cool.
I'm very curious to see his itemization. I think Death Prophet is one of the offlane heroes that has the biggest variety of builds. In the past, sometimes we've seen Death Prophet even go something like Greaves. Currently, he's queuing up Phase Boots. You can go an Aura type build. You can get Blink Dagger early. You can go Octarine Core to have ulti more frequently. Sometimes you get BKB. Sometimes you get Kaya Sanj. There is plenty of options. Shiva is a feels good item in all of those builds. I think this is the type of game where you want BKB on your Death Prophet as like third item, just looking at the threats, because this hero by nature is an equilibrium hero. You want to take damage, but not so much that you can't out-heal it. It's not ideal if you don't pose enough of a threat, however, so you also want to have mobility items so you can really get in there and use Siphon and Exorcism offensively.
Yeah.
That's the natural part of why you get Phase Boots. It's also a big part of why you often see Yules, is it's a multi-purpose item. It gives you mana regen, move speed, and of course the ability to set up your silence reliably. So I'll keep an eye on Collapse's build. I think it's very telling of how Spirit interpret the game that we're in. And I agree, pacing, right? Like, play fast. Don't get to late game against Spectre Lina. That's not going to be that fun.
Well, speaking of Spectre, we haven't gotten to cast her a ton as of... I mean, when did they change Shadow Step to be the illusion? Oh, I have to hold that thought. Ace will be first blooded by Yatoro. Oh, Kraken Shell not enough to survive there.
Tag team can offset that armor or that block.
Very true.
I don't remember exactly when it was changed. It's somewhat recent.
Yeah, but we maybe have cast 1 or 2 games at most, but what do you think has changed with the hero with this new skill?
It has better laning.
The laning was garbage before.
It has Desolate as an innate, which is crazy strong because now you don't need to put skill points into that. So now you actually have an ability that connects you to an enemy hero in the lane, and then you inherently have Desolate. So yeah, just that's pretty much it. It's a much better laner, which makes it more pickable. I'm surprised we've only seen it 3 times so far this year. This is going to be picked more, especially as we get to the main event. A lot of the time, teams pick. You see this trend of looking more and more towards safer and heavier late game and team fight, and Spectre is just, especially if 1 or 2 of the Chinese teams make the top 8, that region has always favored this hero more than the Western scene, I would say.
What's the build these days? So typically you would go earn into either Radiance or, if you want to go back further, Diffusal.
Yeah, it's earn Radiance most of the time. Treads earn Radiance, I think, will be...
It does feel weird that when Radiance, like right now Radiance is really good, typically that means Spectre should be really good, but we're not seeing it that often. Why do you think that is?
I just think the hero's really good. So I don't know
why do the pros disagree with you is really the question.
I mean, I wonder if...
Toro's second kill of the game now.
I wonder if it's just struggling a bit too much in the laning phase still, even with these buffs. In my experience, both playing and watching games, I think Spectre generally does fine. Like, we've had, if you compare this to the Spectre of old from a couple of years ago, I think its laning is so much better. And its late game isn't significantly worse. I mean, you don't have Shadow Step as the ult, which made for a much more global ganking playstyle more frequently.
That was kind of stupid, to be fair.
Yeah, that was probably when Spectre peaked in the last couple of years.
The ports would just die anytime they showed anywhere.
Yeah.
As okay, Nisha making use of that Laguna Blade to decapitate Rue.
Send him packing. Yeah.
That's a level advantage in the mid lane.
With the average game time in this tournament and how the flow of the games have been, I think this is the single most surprising pick rate out of any hero in the pool. Is actually Spectre only being picked 3 times.
Yeah. It's always been a late game monster.
I guess part of it is because we have these, like, let's say 4 or 5 carries that are just too good, right? And if they get through, you just can't justify not picking Shadow Fiend, for example.
When there's a case available.
You're always picking Shadow Fiend. You're almost always seeing a Drow or Lone Druid seems to still be favored by a lot of teams. But when all of those are out and you get further down the pool, this hero, I think, starts becoming really appealing. And I also think not all teams play Kez, I think. There's still some players that just don't...
Well, they're not going to get far in the tournament.
I don't know how crazy Kez is without the Slark. If it's like...
I mean, it's definitely good still.
It's still good, but it's not... To the extent that we just watched in Game 1, it's not on that level.
What is... So talk to me about the Witch Doctor, because this is another hero that we're not seeing a ton of right now. Maledict level 3. Normally I feel like the times that we see it the most are against a Tide.
True.
You can't crack and shell off the Maledict, or you can't dispel it, rather. Yatoro admitting that
it's
they will
over.
be losing this game.
Pausing, saying loss, and then disconnecting is actually really funny without context. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's probably a similar story with, all right, we have depleted the pool of other heroes we want to play. I don't see a specific reason for running Witch Doctor unless they were already planning. If you had in the back of your mind, hey, we're picking Witch Doctors to set up for a specific type of lane carry that really benefits from the heal or from Maledict, then I get it. But the heroes they saw at the time, I don't think Witch Doctor is particularly great against Mirana or Earth Spirit, for that matter. Maybe the heal is good against Magnetize.
Laguna Blade off, and that is going to be the death of the Death Prophet, although the Spirit Siphon keeping him alive a little bit longer. Just too much burst damage from Nisha.
Maybe a big part of it actually is Voodoo Restoration against Magnetize. That does sound really good to me.
Huh, yeah.
If you go 1-4-4, perhaps, which we have seen some players do, that could be a kind of interesting solution to that issue. Also because as long as you have it running, it can't get silenced off of you, so you just need to have it toggled on, and then...
It's interesting.
Maybe it's decent.
Are we going to see a pipe, though? Because it feels like...
That would be pretty good against the Dire lineup.
I mean, there's a good amount of physical damage, though, from Spirit.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a mix, but...
Like, I would say, based on the games that we have seen, this is not enough magic damage from the whole lineup to justify a pipe. But I feel like just an Earth Spirit, in theory, like with the old pipe, that's an auto-buy, right?
Yeah. There's some other things here that it's useful against. Prophet's going Maelstrom and his ult, obviously. Mirana has a lot of magic damage. Death Prophet has a decent portion of magic damage. Obviously, Exo you're not going to block, but the other two abilities. I think it's good enough, specifically when you have Tide. This hero, I would say, is one of the single best buyers of the item. So I wouldn't mind it.
Mickey on the Spectre.
Liquid have to be wary about bottom now, by the way.
And Boxy is going to die in the mid lane. Spectre working on the Radiance now, so Earn online.
This was a very telegraphed play. So if Liquid don't show up for this, they have just already conceded the tower. Death Prophet hit 6 and started pushing the wave. They know Prophet can TP in from top, so they are just like, noping out of there.
Now they pop a haunt, though. They're going to use that in the mid lane, although Nisha kills off Laurel. That is a very big kill for Liquid.
Some early boots of travels on this Lina.
Will be at the cost of tier 1, like you said, in that bot side. Yeah, you're right. Boots of travel.
A lot of global
is
potential.
Maelstrom the typical pickup here?
Yeah, it's standard. Prophet needs a farming item, and Specialist Array is not good enough.
It's unfortunate. Brew is going to find his way to the Witch Doctor.
Oh, nice sidestep.
Dodge the arrow, though. The Starstorm's going to rip him a new one. Brew, though, will be the trade of supports.
Got any more connection?
Ace actually makes his way over as well.
His way over, yeah.
Not me being forced out. A little bit of vision now with that rocket flare in the tree line. Cannot get away, so Nisha does secure his double kill.
Wah, linanya lepas.
Yeah, this hero was banned previously against Nisha in this series. Gets his hands on it this time. You gotta pick your poison at this level. The players have so many signature heroes, and Lina was the choice this time around, and like the panel was talking about, Prophet is an interesting solution to her, but it's contingent on Earth Spirit or Tusk connecting in the first place. There's nothing else really threatening Nisha, and it's going to get a lot trickier once Nisha gets Ags, because then he can fly out of the shards. Yeah. A lot riding on Laurel again, but at least not as much as last game. Yeah. Felt like for Spirit, if he didn't pop off in the first 15-20 minutes, that game was just doomed.
How many games have we seen where an Earth Spirit flops, though? Feels like they always contribute at some stage of the game. Tofu is found by Collapse. Going to get Spectral daggered, but you can see the rest of the reinforcements are there.
Oh, not good shards, though.
From his team. Shard's going to block Nisha. Nisha's going to turn this around, trying to go high ground. The Moonlight Shadow kicks in, though. Do they have the vision? Oh, They don't need it when the attacks come from Spirit as Nisha extremely low. Will drop to not me. The last right click was enough, it seems.
Lovely detail. Look at the Dire triangle. My eyes immediately went to the minimap to check. In the Dire triangle, the Dire have placed a ward themselves so they can see the Ancients and the medium camp. This is why the Wrath of Nature did so much damage. They're effectively generating additional bounce targets. That was a max damage Wrath. That was super hard.
As Root will be falling to Mickey's right clicks.
Huge kill though. Biggest kill of the game that Lina won. She was 5-0. How much damage does Wrath of Nature do? Was that 400? 300?
Not that big then, Cinder.
Well, it starts at 125. It needs to bounce a lot of times to get to 300.
So it becomes a Crypt Swarm, is what you're saying. Ravage comes out onto Yatoro. TPs are coming, though, to try to assist, but Yatoro's just taking too much damage. Will they be able to get anything out of this?
Oh, I missed the roll.
And Spectre Mickey gets canceled, apparently. They're going to drop the Ace Tide as well. I'm not sure what canceled that.
What candle? Huh?
That was an arrow, apparently.
Was it a melee range arrow or what? That I didn't see?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I hurt my head earlier today. So.
Really hard, by the way. I wish I had that on video.
Oh, yeah. That would be a good thing you don't, actually. Mid tower, though, on the menu for Team Liquid looks to be a trade, because EXO don't know if they can really stop this push top. Rue has a full health pool to work with to tank.
I have to say, 2 Exos, 2 towers.
Yeah. And a dead Boxy.
Here. Boxy does drop. This is where Death Prophet feels like a strong hero. They're able to get these early engagements.
We were talking about item build. He went Yules, and now he's going Kaya, and then BKB, and then I'm assuming Kaya Sanj.
Or Laurel. Ace is going to show up in his own triangle. As you can see, the Laguna Blade comes out. Tofu is going to be the first to drop. Yatoro trying to walk this off. Ace attempting to pursue, but they don't have the vision now. Dust a little bit too late to find the core on the outskirts. Collapse, though, is another core.
Oh, they're trying to block the hook shot with one treant.
Apparently.
Yep.
Doxy.
Go for it.
Yeah, won't be able to pursue any further now.
Under the cover of Moonlight Shadow, they want to steal the Wisdom.
Collapse will show up. Boxy inside his own cogs. Ace on the high ground. Yatoro shows up, though. And they're going to get that snowball surprise. Ace takes a tumble. Right click's coming now from afar. Yatoro is going ham. The Collapse now in a little bit of trouble. Nisha, the cover is here too, has to go towards his triangle now, trying to attempt to get away from these 4 members of Spirit, but the Yules keeps him in place, and he gets arrowed and killed off. Double kill for Laurel as 4 perish on Liquid's side.
Spirit, guys.
And I believe the Wisdoms are still there for the taking, right? So they could just go back and get both of those as well. That's a landslide victory for Spirit.
Looking real bad. It's been a stomp after stomp alternating, so.
Yeah, cursed that one as well, saying this one was going to be a closer game.
To be fair, Spirit, this does feel like an early-ish game lineup. I mean, I'm not saying they don't scale, but they want to get into these early engagements in this game, especially with the Urn, especially with Death Prophet and Nature's Prophet always wanting to push these towers. You got Earth Spirit always want to fight. Just feels like this is a good peak for them at this stage of the game.
Yeah. And this, of course, is the downside to Spectre. This is the price you pay, even with better laning stage. The hero doesn't offer much this early on when Haunt is on cooldown. But I would argue there's a lot of carries that play like this anyway, right? Where you're kind of just AFK for 15 minutes off on your own in the jungle farming. His Radiance is about 1,500 away, so look at something like 18, 19 minutes for Mickey, which is pretty slow. Not having the best of times in this game, and that is, again, credit to Spirit putting all this pressure. He only has a single death, but they're just forcing the issue so much.
Nisha. They get a little bit of vision thanks to the Essence Distiller. Arrow does hit, and that is enough. Nisha down and out again. Spirit in the driver's seat.
Essence Distiller is so good for Earth Spirit to play with. He doesn't have it himself, obviously. He has the Vessel, but Marana with the Distiller. If Earth Spirit can track heroes through fog, it's just such a crazy hero given its reach and everything.
That is true.
And Yatoro is
monstrous.
Yeah. This is just genuinely for me. This feels like every top-tier Prophet game I watch goes like this for himself. Then it's a matter of whether he wins the game or not. We'll see, but this is why I love the hero so much. Like, wins its lane, farms super fast, joins fights, does a ton of damage.
Now they had the vision on Mickey. Again, the Essence Distiller is setting it up. The Walrus Punch to finish the job. And Mickey, did he buy the Sacred Relic at the very least?
Yeah, he has.
Okay. So not a ton of gold lost. But still, look at this. Already a tier 2 likely to be taken out in favor of Spirit. 17-minute tier 2. Craziness.
And even though Prophet isn't the best Roshan hero, they can still go for that very soon as well with Exo.
To get aggressive, gets the silence onto the Lina, collapsing nearby, gets another silence on top. As Yatoro jumps in, they kill off Nisha easily despite the Laguna Blade being used. And they'll find a lowly Tofu as well. Man, oh man.
Oh, Laurel's on the hunt for more.
And why not? Boxy's going to be spotted. Gets off the hook shot, though. Will live.
This is a very awkward time span now for Liquid. With this early game going wrong and Tide rushing Ags, kind of doesn't have anyone to play with for it. So he's kind of just going to be stuck farming with Ags, which, I mean, isn't the worst thing in the world, but perhaps the fights that Spirit are forcing on you did demand a pipe, like we talked about. Maybe been helpful. It's the thing about Lina, when you play her mid and go this build, if she does get caught, she doesn't have much to fend for herself with, so maybe something like a pipe could be a big help. Instead, every time Earth Spirit connects on Nisha, every time Tusk does, you know that Prophet's coming in and it's a kill.
Yeah, Ace is the top net worth on Liquid right now.
Fortunately for them, Spectre is one of the best heroes in Dota history at coming back from these types of deficits. They are going to have to find a good fight once they get the Radiance.
Not me in the tree line. Spotted.
Freebie.
Arrow does hit Mickey. Attempted TP, but the Shadow Step and the Dragon Slave. So Nisha getting something to go his way for once.
Yeah, he wanted to try to give the kill to Spectre, but it got too close.
It was like after his kill. Was he 5-0 to start the game?
Yeah.
7-4 now.
Yep. So until the kill he just got, he went 1-4 after being 5-0. Not a mid-game you see very often. But that's the risk-reward of this hero. It's exceptionally good on offense, but defensively, probably also, if you go back through this game as Liquid and you look at the replay, maybe there was some matter of support positioning. I think it's very important that they protect Nisha. You can see they're starting to play that way more now. But in my eyes, looking at their draft clockwork should kind of just have been on Nisha duty for the majority of the 10 to 20 minute span. Because who else would he play with? Tide offers no kill threat. You're not protecting Spectre, most likely. Rather, if you're playing with Lina, you actually give yourself the opportunity of making counter plays where they go on her, you hookshot, you haunt in, maybe you find a kill or two, even if Lina dies. Because she has a lot of counterplay potential on her own if she does get to cast. Whereas if you're protecting Spectre, well, what's she gonna do? Dagger and run away. Not exactly all that inspirational. Torment time, if they want. Spirit, hookshot.
Oh, very nice cog work. Nami cleaned up. Felt like Spirit were thinking about an early Roche, but it was spotted by the Rocket player earlier, and now it's daytime, so
I like this.
The other side.
Like this a lot from Liquid. It's the 20-minute mark. The Mirana is dead. This smoke could mean anything. It could be Roche. It could be, well, it probably isn't Roche for them, but it could be this, which is even better.
Yep, Ravage comes out. No time to pop that BKB. Right clicks come out as well, and that is the death of Yatoro. Huge kill for Liquid.
And it's multi-purpose too, because now Spirit are not going to do the Tormentor. So this smoke, I thought for a moment maybe they were going to try to Torm with it, which I think could have been cool as well. But very high risk. This also worked out wonderfully. And with that Prophet dead, they also protect their own 21-minute Wisdom. So now Tofu gets level 10. So that should be 4 points in Voodoo Restoration and the level 10 talent for 200 health. This makes Witch Doctor significantly harder to kill. And maybe, just maybe, he can stay alive and get off some Voodoo Restoration against the Earth Spirit. I think he should buy a Glimmer Cape first item and just do anything he can to stay alive and just keep popping out heals and focus way less on Maledict, if possible.
Moonlight Shadow.
See you later, Boxy.
Goodbye. Might find another support in the form of Tofu, so both supports bite the dust for Liquid.
And the tower.
Exorcism still available as Laguna Blade popped from Nisha.
TP ya.
Forcing Yatoro out for now.
I'm actually going to defend the tower with that. All right.
Yeah, the Ags from Ace starting to see some of the use.
Oh, that's a convenient rune for Mr. Yatoro. As we head into the pit, 2 heroes dead, no Laguna, no resources on Lina. So Liquid, even if they know this is happening, they can't do anything about it.
Rocket Flare. Close.
And it's an Aegis for Nature's Prophet.
Tapi kalau diunggulin sih ini menang Spirit ya.
In a similar fashion to game number 1, though, Liquid have kind of stemmed the bleeding, where it obviously happened at a later time in that game, but it's the same overall story. Spirit have a sequence that gives them multiple good plays and builds a big advantage out of nowhere. But now, for the last 5 minutes, Liquid haven't really bled out any additional gold. There is still a Tormentor, though, that should just be... I mean, I think it's just a matter of when does Spirit want to go there.
Yep, some big items coming out, though. We got the BKB for... Wait, who was that?
Well, they have
the
one
Death
on,
Prophet, yeah.
So Collapse and Laurel and Yatoro, all 3 have BKBs. Makes for a significantly harder incoming phase for Liquid, and they're going to Moonlight too. Not really sure what the purpose of this Moonlight Shadow is.
They want to hide from Tormentor.
Yeah. Can't see you, he can't hurt you.
Looks like they are traversing towards this area, though. It will be a freebie unless a crazy rocket flare will steal it. It is coming.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been. Not me gets the shard.
+1 leap charge and more Celestial Quiver charges while you have leap on you.
What do you think of Celestial Quiver?
I feel like it feels like a Band-Aid solution to give Mirana better laning, because her laning was falling too far behind as a support.
It's hard for defense.
I mean, it's fine to give her more right-click damage like this, and it's very thematic for the hero.
Makin lap makin susah anjir. Harus
somehow buffing the spells or giving more base stats or whatever. That's fine. I do think if part of the plan with it was to try to bring her back as a core, that did not really happen.
Kind of miss the old Aghanim Scepter. 5 Blink Dagger.
You just Star Storms happen around you every 7 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. That's if you like that gameplay, you will love Quaswex Invoker right now. Just buy Ghostwalk Shard and run through creep waves and they die, and you don't even show your hero.
Well, I would say, based on how many heroes can now just kill entire waves, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
In a way.
True.
Could bring it back and it would be no different than a lot of other heroes.
If you brought that Axe back now, it'd be significantly worse than it was back then relative to the field. That's very true.
Ayo jangan terlalu lama,
Just for 2
cowok.
more minutes. What
Lina
can
sama
Spirit get out of
Spectre-nya
this? What do
keburu
they
jadi,
want to get
anjir.
out of it is maybe a better question. There's still
Harus
2
cepet
tier
di
2s.
end.
Do you think they group, or is this a farming Aegis?
I think they wait for Yatoro to get his Silver Edge, and then maybe they make a move. Oh, hang on.
And Nisha attempting to TP. Looks like he's fine.
Oh, he actually baited 3 TPs. They think he flew north. That's pretty nice. Give some space to Liquid. Thing is, they don't know they have the space. Mickey is still terrified in mid because he didn't see them TPing. It's a bit of smoke and mirrors for both teams, really. Blink Dagger on Tofu, interesting. I did not think he was going to buy that. And I mean, it gives you a way easier time positioning yourself for getting off Maledict and Death Ward, but the downside is you're still as frail as before. If you get caught by anything, you're just toast.
You saw it.
Silver Edge.
That Sentry gets off the nice hookshot TP. 3 now as well.
Oh.
Ace spotted though.
He's
There's
broken.
the break, and there is the death.
This hero is not tanky anymore in this game until he gets BKB. They can literally just do this every time.
Laurel wants to get the action started. Able to fly away though is the Lina. Still pursuing. It was Nisha able to sidestep. Laurel very, very confident with this shield rune active. And the Aegis now expiring. So 3 minutes from knowing when Roche will spawn next. What would happen if they changed it so when the Aegis expires, that's when Roche could spawn? Feels like there's always this like 3-minute period of a stalemate in a way, where both teams are kind of just waiting around, waiting for potential Roche.
So you're saying the 0 to 3 minute timer starts on Aegis expiry?
Yeah.
And if you use the Aegis, when does the timer start?
It would be the same how it is now.
Okay.
As Silver Edge breaks Spectre. 2-for-1 special, potentially.
Oh, masih
Negate,
dapat.
one more right click does the job. Yatoro with a huge kill. He's going to get a little bit bladed, though. Boxing in with the hook shot as well. This will be a trade. So, favor going Liquid way in this case.
Quick response. Nobody near. If Spirit had a singular hero nearby, I think they could have saved him.
Yeah.
Those were individual plays.
Linanya kayak sangi.
Really is a god tier Silver Edge game.
Yeah, it's incredibly good. That's also why the panel was talking about picking Viper instead of Death Prophet in the slot. They've got a lot of value out of the Viper, or out of the Death Prophet though, gotta say. Really liked Collapse's contribution to the game so far.
Boxer gonna tank the gank. Easy kill for Spirit. Well, easy-ish.
Nisha now with Yasha Kaya, so much faster to wind up that combo, harder to counterplay it.
What's the next item for Nisha? He didn't end up going to the Maelstrom at all.
Oh, on Lina?
Yeah.
No, it's... Did I say he should?
Yeah.
I thought, weren't we talking about Prophet then? In the beginning of the game already?
Maybe I have brain damage as well.
Yeah, I think so.
So what's the typical progression here for him?
I think for a game like this, I'm not sure what is better here. I think sometimes you see Linas just buy a dagger or Shadow Blade to navigate better, be able to get the combo off. If you want something defensive, it's not the best Linken's game at all. It's kind of useless, as a matter of fact. Octarine is, I suppose, always all right. E-Blade is a pretty standard thing on this hero when you play the Spell Cleave build. Yeah, maybe E-Blade is just the best all around. We'll see.
Light Shadow into a smoke from Liquid. Nisha's smoke pops. Don't have the vision initially. Collapse gets off the silence onto 2. Exorcism is popped as well, and that means disengage time for Liquid, but they're going to get caught out by that Yules. Boxy's going to be the first to fall.
Oh, great cast!
They do get that big cast onto several heroes, and Ruse attempting to run away now. Collapse with that BKB. Exorcism doing a good amount of work. Should be able to get the kill with the help of Laurel onto Tofu. The buyback from the clock, though, and it looks like the fight will break up. Only supports dying.
Secepat itu buybacknya, Cok.
Yeah. Ace, no good
Rasanya
opportunity to
masih
use the
2 menit,
Ravage.
anjir.
Has to use the BKB defensively to get out. Kind of not interested in looking for too much more trouble after that. Big item alert here for Yatoro. Pick up the Daedalus. And a Basher for Mickey. Interesting. I guess wants to have a reliable way of getting the Prophet when he does catch him globally. So he can't just BKB TP out. I assume that's the rationale here. Same for the Earth Spirit. A lot of the time in this slot on Spectre, you see either Bloodthorn or Scotty. So I want to say Basher maybe the 3rd or 4th most common item in this slot. A little bit different, but makes sense still. Sometimes you see Nullifier, because then you just kill supports. But he's going to go straight Abyssal. Doesn't really have the best attack speed to utilize this just yet. It's okay.
$12K lead for Spirit, though, as Roche up in 40 seconds. And in terms of, I mean, Liquid has got a pretty scary lineup in terms of fighting into the Roche pit. They have tons of vision. They always have Haunt, obviously Ravage. Even have Lina that can just fly around. Like, there's a lot of opportunity to contest the Roche.
Shiva on Death Prophet will prompt the Moonlight. And in similar fashion to other Liquid deficits, doing a good job at not getting caught out too much. And if they do, they generally tend to find some sort of a trade. Look like Spirit will get anything out of this except ground, which might just be good enough. They're gonna Roche.
Yeah, he will belch though.
Yeah.
And you can see the smoke now from Liquid. We're gonna try to counteract this. They're gonna kind of show in this mid lane though. Despite being smoked, see some spells being used. Scan comes out in the triangle, so Liquid are aware that nobody's in the pit. The old wraparound now.
Spirit are trying to have Laurel be the first point of contact, and then he's just going to instantly BKB and get his spells off. And they have a Blink Snowball as well if needed.
Pops the smoke, roll, not going to hit. No, he's going to take the Ravage just on him into the Laguna Blade. Laurel blown up. So he tanked it, Cinderin, but I don't think he was planning on dying. Does have the buyback if they really want to try to engage here. Boxy does get cleaned up. You can see Yatoro with no mana to speak of, so he just gets the hell out. And now Collapse and Company stuck in a bit of a weird spot, but can always come back with that hero as Rue taking the right-click damage from the Lina. 2 supports dead for Liquid as there's the right-clicks from Yatoro as he comes back into the fray, and Mickey bites the dust.
And that's Roche.
Lina gets away, absolutely. Buyback
seconds.
did have to be expended though from Laurel.
2 tukar 3.
Still, that's well worth it. I kind of like the mindset of Ace there to just blink Ravage the Earth Spirit, because they know if they don't do that, he's going to get saved by Tusk. So you're kind of doing it as a zoning spell half of the reason. You're seeing the replay here, so Tusk can't come in from the side for a snowball save in time. But still, the buyback and, of course, the Prophet connecting. Oh, back in live.
Yes, indeed. Ace pretty damn low here. Attempting to TP. Looks like he's good.
Gonna lose his tower still.
Collapse has a shield rune. He is omega tanky right now.
Gonna go for the Hex next on Death Prophet. So still playing... Oh, never mind. He is going Blink. I was gonna say still playing without Blink, but that is the next item.
Is Hydra's Breath Mjolnir combo common on Nature's Prophet?
Yeah, I think so. It's either this hero always wants a Dragonlance upgrade. So in Pike games where that's really important, you will get that. But Hydra's Breath is obviously significantly more damage.
What makes this not a good Pike game?
I think it's less important against a hero like Spectre, because she's going to stay on top of you anyway. Most likely, I don't think you can create enough distance for that to be meaningful. And the way Lina is played here, the range doesn't make as much of a difference. Let's say he was playing Prophet against Terrorblade. I think he would be much more likely to want to buy Pike so he could reset position. Also because if you're playing against heroes that buy Pike themselves, it's really good to have Pike to match. So if they force in aggressively to try and overwhelm you, which Terrorblade can, you can do the same in turn and reset the position. But it's not necessary this game. The main upside to it is having it against Clockwork, but evidently it hasn't really been enough of a problem that Yatoro has felt like he needs it. I don't know if he's been hookshot a single time this game.
Yeah, that's true.
Feels like most of the hook shots are Boxy getting away from trouble, more so than anything.
Nisha has a Daedalus. And looks like it will be a Hurricane Pike coming up.
So he's going Pike now. That does change the equation a bit for Prophet, but I mean, he's committed at this point with the Hydra's Breath. So if we're sitting on a lot of gold. He's got 3,000 gold and still has the Gree.
I forgot that was even a thing.
I mean, at this point, it's probably too late for Glimmer. He's going to go Ags, it looks like. So more damage.
All right, Roche Banner plays from Spirit. Gonna force the action here. Lina does have some good range to try to take out the banner eventually.
Free hit ya.
The tower's dead.
She has to be super careful with Blink Punch if she goes to hit the banner. That's what Nisha's scared of.
Yeah, hook shot, Boxy. Okay, Yatoro ends up in no man's land. They do get the kill on the clockwork, but Yatoro's taking a ton of damage. Maledict is applied, so BKB's not going to do much. That's life number 1. Roll in from Laurel. Not going to find a connection. Pops his BKB.
Oh, good Yule.
Yule's onto Ace, gets off the Ravage, finally does clip the Nature's Prophet, but the Tusk is going to save him with the Snowball, and now they're going to turn this around on the Tidehunter instead, so Ace is dead to rights. Meanwhile, collapsing no man's land. It's off the Exorcism.
He's maledicted.
Still alive for now. Nisha ticking out in the base.
Oh, the
attempting to get out, collapse. Gets saved by the Snowball again onto the creeps. He's going to get healed up by these Exorcisms. Now they kill off another core hero in the form of Mickey. And just like that, okay, finally the Death Prophet does fall. But it's at a heavy, heavy cost. 4 dead for Liquid. And Team Spirit get a lane, and they're going to get more.
Such a heads-up play from the Spirit supports in that moment. That is the best Jules usage I've seen all tournament, I think. Not me, very quick thinker, gets in there, Jules the Tide to prevent the Ravage out of the Prophet Aegis. Then they Ravage after, and it still clips him, but they created enough distance that there was time for a follow-up Snowball save. So, very beautiful stuff from Spirit, coordinating, keeping Yatoro alive with everything they have, and he pays it back big time.
Second lane secured for Spirit. Looking very, very good now. And Liquid, can they find a way to hold on? I mean, how is their high ground, would you say? It feels like it's okay. Not incredible, though. The Gush, very annoying.
Yeah, Lina's annoying too, for sure, but the thing is, the way Lina kills in this game is pretty counterable because they have Tusk in particular. So, I don't know, if you just have an Aegis and you go and hit the tower from long range on Prophet, you're probably going to see a situation similar to the one we just had, where if Liquid want to kill him, they kind of have to dump a lot of stuff, and if there's any clutch Snowball save or any geomagnetic grip to get him out, maybe Earth Spirit could even buy a Blink Ags. I wouldn't mind that. Looks like it's going to be Octarine, though, for Laurel. But if I'm Spirit, I'm not too worried about sieging once I have an Aegis. But until then, of course, it's risky. Liquid going to try to take matters into their own hands here. Smoking up. There is a very nifty rune down bottom from Nisha. He's actually going to find it here. So we'll get an Arcane with him.
Nice.
Immediate Flame Cloak, but not going to find anyone. Going the literal only way on the map that they don't interact with a hero.
It happens.
Unfortunately for them, the smoke is not going to work. And the lines are being drawn by Spirit now. They are connecting the dots like, okay, they're not mid, they're not top, they're not bottom.
Process of elimination.
There's not many options left.
Wrapping around is not me.
He's trying to fish them here.
Bit off here.
He might end up dying, but
he'll get the vision.
Hook
shot with a blade. Ends up being an easy kill for Liquid.
Yeah, they did have to walk for a minute for it, though.
Spirit still want to fight, though, apparently. They think better of it. No buyback for the Mirana, so it is 4v5.
That's 2 back-to-back smokes used for Liquid, though. They must be running out of them now. I think this is their last one for quite a while.
Smoke to get away from another smoke. Won't know about Roche for a minute and a half. Yeah, looks like Spirit are able to dodge this. This is the benefit of having a Spectre, though. You can join at any time and still push out those lanes that do not have barracks any longer. Okay. Gets rolled on. Gets broken. Gets killed. Huge kill overall for Spirit.
They could force a buyback with this because Liquid simply cannot team fight without Spectre. So you could think about knocking on the high ground with Exorcism. Go and take the outpost so Moronic can TP down. Which is exactly what Rue's going to do. And then you're going to go over, pop Exo, have Prophet hit from range. And yes, you don't have Aegis, but I still think being able to force this Spectre buyback is extremely valuable. The question is, how do you do it the safest so that they have to buy back, but you don't expose yourself too much?
All right, last remaining barracks here. Need to defend for Liquid.
Moonlight Shadow, there's a Yule setup.
Yule set up with the arrow, not going to connect, Nisha.
I think they're trying to bait something there, almost.
Maybe the buyback.
Either the buyback or maybe a failed Ravage or something. But Liquid keep their cool.
Foxy. And keep position here. Creeps are pretty damn annoying. Laurel going to take a Laguna. Not me. Jumps in. And jumps out. Didn't realize there's still a tier 1 top and bottom. What the hell?
Yeah, well, one team doesn't really have any push power and has been behind the whole game, and the other team has Prophet. So tends to push out the lanes very effectively the whole game. It's hard to access anything.
It's a bit of a late Roche spawn. Minute 45 now. I don't even know if that's good news for Liquid.
Are they close to anything meaningful? Tide, Refresher, still a couple, like 2,000 away. Spectre is working on Butterfly now, so Mickey swapped away from the Scotty.
Okay. Interesting. I mean,
he's almost doubled in net worth by the Prophet, by the way. Just throwing that out there at 43 minutes. Prophet 40k net worth, Spectre 20.
Yeah, that's normal.
It actually kind of is.
Prophet's the real alchemist.
Yeah.
Except he's actually good late game. I mean, is there any room for him to grow, though, at this point?
Moonshard, eggs.
Masih nunggu Rosan lagi kan?
I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else he would get, really.
I'd say either of those are that big.
Menurut apa tuh agak nih?
The eggs can be kind of nice. Because it means he has a global way of forcing Lina to use BKB, for example. That's very annoying. If he casts it after Spectre uses Manta, you just root all of them. That's also really good.
"20 seconds away from Roche. And Liquid definitely have to contest, or else this might just be it.
Did Ace just craft a tier 4 neutral item at 44.5 minutes?
Nice, well done.
I mean, maybe he had the tokens for a long time and was just keeping something else and now eventually decided on Conjurers. Otherwise, they have not hit a lot of neutrals. That is kind of crazy.
The big Roche. He's got all the goodies now. 31k lead for Spirit. Laurel spotted. Will roll away, though. Level 24 now. And that 25 talent, like we've talked about in past games, insanely good.
Conjurer's Catalyst on this hero is disgusting.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I feel like you could say that about a lot of heroes in this patch right now. Boxing in the tree line. Aghanim Scepter is picked up by the Nature's Prophet. Yep, Laurel, Eon disprocs. BKB's attempting to get out of dodge, but the nice hook shot from Boxy brings him back, but the snowball's going to save. Meanwhile, Collapse with the Exorcism on the back line. Ravage comes out as well. Able to get 2 kills off the back of that. No buyback onto the Earth Spirit. Yatoro right-clicking to his heart's content, and that means a mass TP for the Tidehunter. An attempted one from Tofu, not happening for him, though. So, pretty good fight for Liquid, all things considered. They might still end up losing Roche here.
Yeah, they spent all their spells, so...
Yang mahal sih itu udah all
They'll take the 2 kills, one of which being
Boxy.
core, but...
This is a very good hero to try to do this.
Yeah, he doesn't have dagger, though. Makes it significantly harder.
Hook shot. Ooh, so close.
If he fired that
Go
a second
for it.
early, he might have tried.
Itu
Yeah,
Jesse bawa
100%.
sih.
Yatoro gets
DP sih
Aegis.
harusnya yang bawa.
Oh, they find the break now.
Oh,
Onto
no.
the Spectre, and Mickey dead.
Uh-oh.
No
buyback.
Udah nggak ada
buyback,
util,
and that
Maksudnya udah nggak ada
probably
util.
does it.
That's just classic Prophet. You get Aegis and you immediately kill the enemy carry on the other end of the map, you know? Just such a fast connection immediately. He might find more. He's going to walk into Ace.
Ace, okay. Broken inside.
He's dead too.
He's dead. Does have buyback this time, though. But Yatoro just... he's so slow without boots.
Pancing
Without
buybacknya
the
dong.
silver edge up. But he still finds his... And he gets a damage rune as well. All right.
Okay.
Naik dong,
Alright,
naik
buddy.
dong.
Let's see how long this Rax stands. If he gets to swing a couple of times.
Pew, 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 pew. An attempted defense from Liquid without their Spectre. Witch Doctor takes the tumble. Buybacks are going to come out now. Laguna Blade not going to be nearly enough to find a kill. To get the Yule's connection to onto Nisha. Mega Creeps have come as Collapse tanking up the right clicks from Nisha. Pops the BKB in retreat. And with Mega Creeps and all the buybacks coming out from Liquid, Spirit are going to play it a little bit safe. Obviously,
ada
Aegis is
Satanic
still
ya.
online for 3.5 minutes, so they can reset, wait for the Earth Spirit to be back, and of course for these creeps to push into the base inevitably. Not gonna wait that long though. Spirit ready to
They
pound.
know there's no Ravage. So,
Roche banner
no reason
placed.
to wait.
And they're going to try to end this right here, right now. Yatoro with the Mjolnir applied. Going to take the shadow step. There's the punch from Rue. The kick as well. Not able to find the kick connection, though, onto Nisha inside of his own throne as the Magnetize comes out. You can see Collapse with the Yules. Looks like they'll find Boxy
Panin
to start this
satu-satu.
fight. As Laguna Blade from Nisha, not nearly enough. Has to go back to base.
Wah,
As
anjing, dimasukin di situ
Laurel
nggak tuh?
ends up in the fountain somehow. Don't think that was planned. He will survive if they find the connection, though, onto the Death Prophet. That's going to be the death of Collapse. But you can see the
Dipegangin
throne is
banget
exposed as
depannya,
Yatoro,
coy.
just objective base gamer. Going to try to finish this right here, right now. Going for some hero action, though. He's going to get stunned locked, and that's going to be death number 1 out of 2. As Spirit, they get the buyback on the Collapse. Now they can just focus this throne, surely. Spirit siphon on several heroes. Yatoro does die.
Mati, anjing.
Exorcism is more than enough, though, as Spirit will
GG.
take game number 3 and take the series 2-1.
Really, really nice series overall. I mean, obviously 2 very stompy games, and this third one also relatively one-sided, but I think it was nice to see from both teams in their victories just how decisive and how strongly they played to their strengths. And Spirit, do it twice.
That's right, panel.
A true testament to the way that these teams are able to prepare for each other, but also prepare for themselves. Game number 3. Whilst we loved what was coming out from Liquid in that draft, the Witch Doctor, the Tide, the Spectre, especially the Tide, right? Monkeys. Just like you predicted. Spirit won it.
No, just like I would have predicted. Yeah, well, yeah, as you said. But sorry, I thought
Dude, I
you were
debated you so hard. He thought I was going to say the Liquid win.
But yeah, Spirit won. I think the last pick Death Prophet really did solve the Witch Doctor problem. It laned really well against the Spectre and was just able to have a really good early game. Open up these towers early on, and I think kind of what we talked about, you know, this last pick Death Prophet did a lot more than the last pick Luna's in the previous two matches. So I think Spirit kind of like fixed their drafting order, drafting issues, and they just came out very strong here.
I think in particular it put pressure on Team Liquid. If you see like
Yang itu tadi
this clip we just saw, they're like diving past this tier 1 tower. I feel like it made it so it's like you're losing your towers, you're losing your map, you're losing your lanes to this Death Prophet, and you're like, okay, we have to do something proactive. We don't want to constantly react. We have the Spectre. We should be the ones going. And then you just take that one little step too far, and now you've given them another advantage to Team Spirit. And I think that like you make 1 or 2 of those mistakes versus this Nature's Prophet, the Death Prophet is like very fast mid game. And just like we were saying before, it's like you just hit the timing 1, hit timing 2, and then timing 3 is the game ending.
It's the Prophet plus the Spirits lineup. Dead Prophet, Nature's Prophet, Team Spirit, a lot of spirits coming out from the Exorcism, Earth Spirit on top of that. I feel like with this type of a lineup, you can easily snowball. If you look at the support duo, this is, at least to me, one of the stronger support duos in meta, because you have Tusk, you have Mirana on top of that. These heroes are easily paired up. Maybe ideally you could throw in Ember Spirit instead of Earth Spirit because it's an easier setup for the spells, but they play the map so well. They between after 6 minutes they're gonna be in your face. You also have Nature's Prophet who can TP on top of that, so it's very difficult to try to outnumber these type of heroes who are gonna be in your face constantly and looking for kills, which makes it you know that they're going to play aggressive, which also means that you need to respond. And if you don't have the support duo, the mid that can respond to some of these engagements, it could snowball out of control, and definitely did in this one.
The support duo of Team Spirit being so pivotal there, and the inverse I do think as well for the side of Liquid, because whilst there were so many good things about Witch Doctor and what he can do, at the end of the day, so much of it is down to positioning, and I feel like the counter positioning of Team Spirit was just that little bit better. The silence always coming out as soon as the ultimate for Witch Doctor comes out. It's you feel pretty much useless once you leave the laning phase, once early game isn't really there, and teams can start sustaining through your Maledict, and you're like, well, am I even a hero at this point? What am I offering to my team? Because Cask also isn't necessarily that reliable.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, guys, I have 2 people stand just you don't want them to be right on top of each other,
yeah.
Because then the sun's falling. So they have to be just that little bit away from each other. It's a perfect casket range. But I like the experimentation, but didn't really work out in this game. I do just want to shout out again Collapse. I think the Death Prophet was really good for a lot of things they needed, and the Nature's Prophet. A lot of the fights we saw him TP in right on top of the Lina on the Spectre with the Silver Edge getting these kills. I think a lot of it was just him making the correct kind of TP aggression plays, knowing where he can go without dying.
Right when we were talking about, there aren't that many global mobility heroes coming out, where have they gone in this meta? Both of them pick one for themselves, and feels like we know which one is slightly more superior. It is that Nature's Prophet. And just when we think we've exhausted every possible aspect of this game number 3, well, Purge is here to prove us wrong. There's so much more we get to look at.
That's right. There's always a really pivotal moment in the game, at least in the last match, and this one as well, where the game turns around a lot. And they kind of snowball with really good teams. And this is that mobility that we're talking about. Spectre jumps on the Nature's Prophet. You think, I can get on top of the Nature's Prophet, I can kill him. And Liquid was successful here in this moment. But unfortunately, the great reaction from Team Spirit results in both of these heroes dying, so they actually get punished moderately hard by this. And then things start snowballing a little bit. They push into the mid tower, and in the meantime, Earth Spirit rolls on the clock in the mid lane. Nature's Prophet teleports using global mobility the other way. And that gives them another window of 30 seconds where they get to hit buildings with no response, because nobody can get close to this while they're hitting this buildings. And on top of this, they're also stealing stacks at the exact same time. And nobody ends up dying from this either. So they're getting one small team fight win into a gank mid, into a tower kill, into the stacks cleared, and all of a sudden the game that was even ends up being a 4K gold advantage out of nowhere. And then they say, okay, we're not done yet. We're being aggressive right now. We're going to go contest the Wisdom Shrine. Great aggressive TP there with the Mjolnir. Tidehunter does not have the survivability for this. Witch Doctor dies as well under the tier 2 tower. They even run down the Lina. This takes a little bit of doing the Yules here finally into the arrow, and she ends up dying. So the snowball really just comes out of nowhere. These good teams are so good at keeping the pressure up. A minute later, they're again looking for kills. They catch Lina just barely with the Essence Distiller. A really good arrow there from Not Me results in the Lina kill. They didn't even need to bring Prophet to this. In the meantime, Prophet's just hitting creeps constantly, always looking to TP, and he even thinks about TPing in this pressure here. Spectre, keep an eye on his items, actually. He's got this urn, but it doesn't actually do anything because he hasn't been getting any kills. Their team is behind by a lot, so he can't even join fights now. So his HP is low. They end up having vision with the Essence Distiller, so despite Mirana leaving, he ends up getting dove under the tower, and they end up pressuring the tower afterwards. We almost saw Nature's Prophet TP before this, but he realized, I can finish this creep, and then I can take the 2-2 tower. So they're basically constantly ready to go at all points in this game, with the global mobility coming from the Nature's Prophet, with the high mobility coming from the Earth Spirit, and all of their other jump heroes. Even Collapse, just completely invulnerable, basically, to something like Maledict. They get to dive and kill all of these heroes. So this is just a big snowball that all started from that one fight in the top lane. You cannot make any major mistakes against a Prophet lineup because their ability to take towers afterwards is so good, but very well played by Team Spirit.
And very well explained by you, Patch. Thank you so much. I appreciate that breakdown there of the pivotal moment in which we do end up seeing Spirit use their lineup to their full advantage for them to close out at game number 3 and now be the second team that is 3-0. It's down between Spirit and Team Vision as to who can be our our one and only, I should say, 4-0 team. Obviously, that's not going to happen today. That's going to be tomorrow. But alluding to it, Lacoste, do you have a little bit more of a favorite between Vision, Spirit? Because they both went to a game 3. They were both pushed to their limits.
Sure. I think Spirit, maybe I would give more advantage in this matchup to Team Vision because Spirit, they are powering up. It's DI time, but they also didn't have the best season. You can definitely feel the magic happening again for this team because all the things are clicking. But I feel like Team Vision, they're just they have like the upper hand when it comes down to drafting. Even though Miposhka is back, I feel like some of their drafts are like very hard to execute. If you give their draft to any other teams, they would not be able to execute them. But seems like they know what they want to do in and out. And I think the team talked about a lot ever since the puppy joined, like how he's doing the draft and everybody else is just, chilling. We don't have to do much because the puppy, he is in charge of the drafting.
Yep. And that guy has been around for so long. He's got to pick up a secret or two about how to draft. And
you're pulling back references from like TI5. He's pulling it all the way back from TI1. You know,
from Dota 1,
even before that.
So I do really like the new version with Puppy. It feels like they're a little more consistent with 9 class. I think before, sometimes he'd look really good with his supports and sometimes he wouldn't. And I feel like now it's more like, look, man, you can play like a slightly weird hero, but probably we're going to make you play a normal hero. I feel like he's kind of that guy who's fine saying no to 9 class and putting him on a more standardized hero.
Yeah, not as many support TAs or support slarks or whatever nonsense he was up to back in the day.
And who knows if we're better or worse for it, but Team Vision being 3-0, Spirit as well 3-0 for themselves, it makes me wonder where the rest of our teams here still at TI have landed themselves in this modified Swiss bracket. And we're going to show you exactly that, because right now there are still, well, actually there's only one series still currently being played. That's not even playing, is not.
Nih terakhir main dulu nih, nanti si besok itu tadi siapa? Nih di sini nanti Vision sama Spirit. Di bawah itu ada OG sama Huli. Nah, yang kalah dari sini ke Elim nih, guys. OG kalau masih kalah lawan Huli, keterlaluan sih, guys. Parah banget playernya berarti, guys. Kalau di Mole sih di Indo udah kayak RRQ ya. Jadi ini nyawa OG nih cuma tinggal 1, guys, besok, guys. Kalau yang atas kita nggak usah lihat lah ya, karena yang menang masih masuk qualify. Mau Vision atau mau Spirit sih harusnya masih ke qualify sih. Terus di 21-nya itu berarti yang menang lawan Falcon tadi siapa? IW, di sini ada IW. Yang menang dulu ya, yang udah pasti ya. IW Nikma VG. Ya, lawan VC Gaming. Di sininya nanti ada BB, ada Liquid, sama nanti yang menang dari sini. Ini kan ada 6 nih, berarti ini yang kalah kan. Ada BB, Liquid, terus ada Falcon, ada LGD, ada ini tadi apa yang lawan VG, ada GL. Ya, ini bakal menang di sini. Yang kalahnya masuk di sini, guys. Berarti di sini nanti ada Falcon, ada LGD, ada tadi apa ini? GL, sama yang menang dari sini. Ini kan 1 2 3 4 yang kalah ya, nanti sama satu lagi dari ini. Terus tambah ini 2 yang menang masuk sini baru lanjut. Ya, berarti masih ada 3 hari lagi, guys, kita sampai ke elimination round ya. Jadi nanti yang dari sini yang menang ya, yang menang tetap di atas bakal naik, yang kalah bakal di bawah sini, ujung-ujungnya tetap bakal ketemu guys. Nanti yang menang dari sini bakal langsung qualified, berarti nanti ada 8 tim yang qualified ke playoff, dan di sini nanti ada 5 tim yang kalah, yang nggak akan masuk ke babak playoff. Ya gitu dulu aja ya guys ya, kita lanjut dulu aja kali ya.
Has allowed his team to stampede to many victories.
Nicely done. Trying to help out his Mirana there,
Ini apa?
but
Oh, ini
Mira is
Aurora
going to
yang
be
tadi nih.
brought down.
Yep.
Tebel
And
banget
that
sih
solid
sumpah.
backbone of Watson now godlike
Siapa
in
yang
this
bisa
game, the
nge-kill itu,
Necrophos.
Cok?
He had a very solid laning stage and he has been farming
Ini
up
Aurora
a
udah pasti
store.
kalah sih.
Malady, you guys have seen a lot of Treant
Kita
Protector
tinggal nunggu
bans this
upgrade
tournament. Not too many picks,
bracketnya
I'm
aja
sure,
ya.
because he gets banned so often.
Cuman kalau
Malady,
tadi
one of the Treant
posisinya
Protectors that makes you ban this hero.
Yeah.
Because he is very good at controlling the entire
Posisinya
map
Aurora
and has really
sama
aided
aja sih
in
guys,
this
main di
victory
atas
here
main
for
di bawah.
Yandex. So,
Ayo kita off dulu guys, thank you so
done
much,
all
don't
around. At
forget
this point,
to
not much
subscribe
Aurora can do
and
other
see
than
you
just wait
on
for
the
this
next
respawn
streaming.